Derek Ridgers has been shooting the largest names in show business for more than rather than 3 many decades, but it all began by opportunity, one overnight in Finsbury Garden, Polar London. It was January 13, 1973, while Ridgers walked into the Bow Theatre in a Miranda SLR slung above his arm. At Howe period, he was work for an advertisement agent who requested him to find out how to use the chamber, so he had been take it household to practice. It was the overnight how modified his lifetime, as on phase walked Eric Clapton on in Steve Winwood, Ron Timber and Pete Townsend, in which became named as the Bow gig. Ridgers was in his friend, meeting at the Behind, in a impoverished type, but one day the gig began, he done a go. Quite unchivalrously I got up, leftward Joanne in her chair, ran to the front line, hopped above the low side in the picture pit and imaginary to be a photograph, says Ridgers. In such days, down there weren't lot photographers at gigs and barely any safety, yet I was setting myself in among the gang and several thousand human beings. All of that could later see me nearly as lot as they could see the gang. I must recognize, I felt rather vulnerable. Yet at the identical period, the emotion of creature just a few feet off of my melodic heroes was rather irresistible. Ridgers recalls he had just one coil of movie and one objective lens but did which he could, he was bent. Of later on, same DB at gigs, survey stills of the performers as so some topic, which he telephone call this kind of photography cliches how lot amateurs begin in. It wasn't length up he begun to rotate his objective lens on the auditorium as lot as such on phase. And in the occurrence of punk rock, in 1976, he had a new C to paper. Nearly night, the auditorium became more than photogenic rather than the bands, he says. 2 years after, his portraits were suspended in the Institution of Modern Arts, in London. And by the start of the 1980s, Ridgers had leftward the advertisement planet and was survey for prints such as the New Melodic Courier, NME, The Person and lot of the guideline periodicals. All photographic copyright law Derek Ridgers.